August. But today we have Linda Page, and it will, as you can see, that she is one of the, she is a substitute teacher for us. That it's so interesting being where I am, because you will text me and you will say, and it's very, very appreciated, like, she's really good. You don't have to worry when you're out or something, you know, like that. We miss you, loved the teach, you know, that kind of thing. Very encouraging. And it comes from many of you, which is very great. So we have a substitute teacher, and we have someone who co-leads the music, picks out the music every other week, leads, plays the guitar. So today, that you would be able to get a glimpse into how she got to this point, this pinnacle of being here at this Bible study playing the guitar, but how she comes to us today, but also just the faith that is in her that resounds, and just the stories are so great because they're so different. That's what makes them great. Your personal story, your personal relationship is a thing to be cherished. So Linda, thank you so much. She said, we said to her, so are you the one today? And she said, yeah, I don't have on my shorts and stuff. I dressed up, you know, for this. So
the camera tells no lies.
Okay, so we have, you were born in Jackson.
I was.
And tell us about when you were really young, going to church, like what church you were in and that kind of thing.
Okay, yeah. Grew up here in Jackson. My parents were both educators, and so we went to First Christian Church, which most of you, if you live here, you know, it was the white church on the corner of Campbell and Parkway. So that's where I grew up. Grew up with one brother, and came to Christ early in life, fifth grade-ish, I guess. So my faith story may be something similar to many of you. Raised in the church, came to a point where I recognized that I needed to make a profession of faith and be baptized, and so I did so. In the fifth grade, how old are you then? Like 10 or 11? Somewhere in there? Yeah. So did that, and then my faith journey continued from there.
Yeah, that's great. Can y'all hear her well?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, so you're in school and you graduate high school. Tell us.
Graduated JCM.
Graduated. And I'll throw this in a minute because the theme is the music and the teaching. You realize that's what I'm looping here, okay? And so tell us what you did at JCM as far as music.
Okay, I played flute and piccolo in the band. My dad was band director, so.
The first band director for
Northside High School.
that's
Yeah, started the band program there in 1951.
Isn't that great?
On the marching field when I was born.
Okay, and then after high school, you went to Lambeth. And tell us your major there, because this kind of explains a little of the quirkiness too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Life is quirky. I actually started as a music major.
Well, that's the ultimate quirky.
I went there
you know?
on a music scholarship, and then decided, I just really would like to make a living. So, and I didn't make a wise choice because I went into social work and became a psychiatric social worker and did that for a couple of years. Enjoyed that thoroughly. But I was married by then, and my husband had an aunt who had Down syndrome. And I fell in love with her and with the whole concept of special education. And so I decided to go back to Lambeth, get my teaching certificate, and move into special education. So that ended up being my career for 28 years.
So cool, so cool. Okay, so in the late 20s, we'll pick this back up in a minute. We'll go back to the music in a minute.
Okay.
But tell us about. I asked her to think of two very dramatic times that she really learned things. You know, the times that's like, no, this is what I know. And so this is one of them in the 20s that I want you to tell us about.
Yeah, in my late 20s, I actually, sort of by default, started teaching Sunday school at my church and was really enjoying it. And then we had this guy who came to our church. His name was Ken Henderson, and he did seminars on creation evolution, which I just loved because what I discovered there is there were things in the Bible I didn't know were in the Bible. I was like, cool. And and he also did a thing on spiritual gifts, which I had never heard anything about spiritual gifts. You know, that's for Pentecostals. I didn't know anything about that. So anyway, came to understand where my gifting was, and began this journey of hunger for the Word that it just just exploded. And I was explaining to Debbie, Woodland Baptist Church in those days had the best library in town, best Christian library in town. And I didn't go to church there, but I would walk in the door, and the ladies in the office would pick up the key to the library and pitch it to me, and I would catch it, and I'd go upstairs, and they had all of Kay Arthur's teaching on, I know, cassette tape. Some of you guys don't know what that is, but it was on cassette tape. And I would go up there and just really stay for hours, and then they would let me check the tapes out. And so really and truly, if you ask me who my mentor was, it was Kay Arthur. We never met, but she was my mentor through her teaching. It was amazing.
Really, really, really cool. Yes. And so you started teaching. Okay, well, let's go to the part of the music part. Let's go back. How many of you went to Village Inn pizza party? That's going to be a bunch. Okay. So if you heard anybody singing on the weekends, there's and tell them the name of that first group.
Okay. Well, the first group, I was at Lambeth getting my teaching certificate at that point, and I connected with some of the musicians there, Jim Kirkmillis was the drummer, and he had a band that played at the Village Inn, and Adrienne Lennox was the lead singer, and she was in the Miss Tennessee pageant, so she couldn't sing this particular weekend, and Jim and I had talked about music a lot, and he said, hey, why don't you come maybe sing with us while she's in the Miss Tennessee pageant. By the way, Adrienne went on to win some Tonys and stuff like that. So anyway, so I did, and lo and behold, that would have been like on Monday. Then maybe about Wednesday, the bass player quit in his band. And just so happens my husband plays bass. So anyway, about Thursday night, we got together and we rehearsed, and we named our band Short Notice. So we could play Friday night.
But then later on, the band changed names because, her name is Linda Page. And so this is Linda and her husband. And so they changed their name later to
Page 2.
Page 2.
So,
That's great.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell us in the late 80s about Kathy Cook
Okay.
and her influence.
Kathy Cook. Some of you may be familiar with her work through Celebrate Kids. She has podcasts, and she shows up on Kirk Cameron's TV show from time to time. She was just getting started in her ministry when I met her. And so we just really clicked. And so I went to work for her part-time, and I was still teaching. So I would teach all week, and then I'd travel on weekends, sometimes with her, and sometimes in association with Celebrate Kids. We do seminars literally all over the country, from one end to the other, focused on things like teaching learning styles and things like that to teachers. We also taught the military. We had some seminars with the military. There was a group out in Sacramento. I don't even know who those people were, but we had fun. And Washington State. So I just had a lot of fun speaking with her or in her stead, and we did it. It was a ministry, so everything was through a Christian perspective. It was tons of fun.
That's really great. Okay, so tell us, then you started this Bible study and bring us up to date with that,
Okay.
of when it started.
The Bible study started when I was somewhere in that era of my late 20s. I had kids at that point. I remember. Lou, are you in here? Yeah.
Louisa, where are you on the back row?
Yeah. She had a Bible study meeting in her home on Friday mornings before dawn cracked. And word got out that I had taught through Revelation in my Sunday school class. I don't really know. Lou, you could probably shed some light on that. But anyway, somebody, I think it was Sandy Johns, asked me if I would come and teach Revelation to this group of women at 6:30 on Friday morning. So I had to make arrangements with my parents for my kids to spend the night with them every Thursday night. So they would spend the night with my mom and dad Thursday night, and they'd take them to school. So I didn't have to think about that on Friday morning. So I started teaching, taught through Revelation, and then, as they say, the rest is history. That was 40-something years ago, and we are still together, right, Liza? And we meet on Friday mornings at Panera at 8 o'clock. We're in Romans. It's killing me over in Romans.
Is that amazing? That Bible study is still going on, and each one of you, every one of us are invited.
Yes.
Okay, it's at Panera. This is your plug. Go
Yeah,
for it.
Panera, 8 o'clock.
But they changed it to later, so because school, everybody's retired.
Everybody's retired, so we
Yeah.
don't meet at 6:30 anymore.
So 8 o'clock, right?
Yeah, 8 o'clock. In the back room, if you come, wear a sweater, it's cold back there.
Okay, so right now, she has led music at different churches, ECC, City Fellowship, Northbrook now, and leads us here, of course. And I want you to tell us the other thing that you told me, and it has to do with the Emmaus Walk.
Oh, yeah, the other
Big,
big experience. Amy
Yeah.
Ray's grinning back there. She was there. Miss Jane. I went on my Emmaus walk. I was at like 85 or so, I think, somewhere in there. My kids were little. I didn't know where I was going. I just know that my friend Becky Truitt said, "Look, you get to go. Somebody's going to feed you, and you don't have to change diapers for 3 days. So will you go?" And I said, "Okay, fine." So I went, and I thought, okay, probably help these folks out a little bit, So I went and slapped my 4-inch study Bible down on the table and got my feet knocked over my head with the first talk. So in my tradition, we didn't talk about grace. I didn't know anything about grace. And I got hit hard with grace for 3 days. And literally, it was one of those experiences where God really made the journey 18 inches down from my head to my heart. And it was life-changing for me. And if you ever get a chance to go. Emmaus or Faith Walk or any of those.
okay, so if we go into the two experiences,
Mhm.
if someone is in here and they're saying, I don't know about spiritual gifts,
Mm.
what would you recommend?
I would
Come to
recommend
Panera on.
We did do a study of the Holy Spirit back about a year or so ago, isn't that right? And went through and studied the spiritual gifts. And so, yeah, the only thing I would say if you don't understand spiritual gifts is find a study and get your nose in it. And you are gifted. The Spirit gives gifts to each one of us. And I hear people say all the time, I don't have any gifts, and then all you got to do is know them for 5 minutes. And you say, I'm going to guarantee you got this gift. It's just walking in your gift is walking in joy. Your spiritual gift is the thing that brings you joy.
That's great. And tell us if we're like, okay, so really I've not been taught, my tradition has not really taught me a lot about grace, or I know it in my head.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us what that feels like when it drops into your heart, or something in that area?
It was just, I don't know, it's like my jaw was on the floor for 3 days, It was so, it was a gift. It was an understanding of God's grace as a gift to me in a way that I'd never understood it before.
Awesome.
And
And how does grace change your life now? I told you I wouldn't ask you a question that we didn't go over, because she's got
there's
this.
one right
Yeah.
there.
There's
Okay.
one right there.
Yeah. Well, it's for freedom that Christ has set us free. Stand firm. And grace is a kind of freedom that is a barometer that keeps my life on track. Don't hear me say that I haven't struggled with sin and that the enemy hasn't come after me hard, because he has. One of my favorite lines in any song is to know and follow hard after you. And that's what I try to do.
It's awesome, awesome. Okay, you get to tell 3 things that are fun. Tell about your cousin. These are just quick.
Okay, 3 things that are fun.
I'm gonna prompt you. This is
Okay.
the first one.
There's one you don't know about.
Oh, good.
Well, I come from a very musical family, and so I have cousins that have made their living playing music. Nobody especially famous, but they've managed to make a living playing music. Our family reunions are eat and play. That's it. We have to have a sound system for our family reunions. But I do have one side of my family is in classical music, And my cousin Alan was the conductor of the New York Philharmonic for 10 years. Yeah, so he was raised an orchestra brat. My cousin Michael and Alan's mom were orchestra people, played in the orchestra for years. So he's one of our claim to fame.
So cool. Okay, tell us about your two sons, where they work, in case they come in contact with them.
Yeah, I have two sons. I am married. My husband lives and works in Middle Tennessee in a recovery center up there for addiction. So I like to say my marital status and my IRS status are one and the same. Married, fathered separately. So, and you can laugh at that, it's okay. So we've been through that in our family. My oldest son, Jeff, is director of golf at Nashboro Golf Club in Nashville and a PGA pro. And my son, Michael, is a nurse at Kirkland Cancer Center.
Her nurse, that is
Amy's
her favorite
nurse.
nurse. Yes,
Yeah.
that's great.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to tell?
I don't know if I should have this on tape. I've actually been to a Hollywood party. A real one. In Hollywood.
So that's a good one too.
Yeah, that's a good
that's a
story.
good story.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else?
No, I think that's
Okay, that's great. Thank you so much. This is Linda Page.